Well, thank you very much for the shout out pick. Yeah, guys, let me know if you like it. I've gotten some very nice comments on YouTube about it, and just like in my Twitch chat, Twitter, etc. It's been very, very nice. Appreciate it. I'm actually working on my plan. So my New Year's resolution was to actually bring out a new video every month. And I'm still kicking in with that resolution. But the thing is, I have been sort of contracted to make videos for ESL Australia at the moment. We're making videos for the Dare Ice Coffee League.
Oh, cool.
So there's a bunch of videos we're making for like instructional StarCraft stuff, and making like 8 of them. So they're all going to be out soon.
Hell yeah.
Similar quality to the stuff that's on my YouTube. It won't be on my YouTube. I think it'll just be something that they buy off me, but that's where all my video editing has been going into. And if you guys are wondering, what does Maynard do after he finishes streaming? Well, I open up Adobe Premiere, I open up a Audacity and start recording voice lines and making videos. So
do ask them if you can put it on your channel, even if it's like after a bit of a delay, because we like, it's one of those resources sometimes gets used as downtime content. People post it on their social media or whatever. Yeah, and then it never sees the light of day again. So ask them, be like, all right, because and tell them your community, specifically me, and a lot of other people are going to ask the same thing. So I'm asking you now, so you don't have to be like, oh, I'm not sure, guys. Please ask them ahead of time. If you're like, okay, after a month, can I put it up on my YouTube so that it's there for the community? Hopefully they do that, because it's just so much better, because I know they're going to be good quality, and I'm going to want to direct people to them. So, yeah, put it up.
Yeah.
Anyways, start of the grand finals. It's a TVP. Over here in the left-hand side, Maynard, he's a young man, but his APM, his MMR are both very high. He's very skilled, he's very fast, he's got quick hands, and he's gone for a gas-first opening. His name is Team Liquid's Clem.
He is very Clem. And on the far right, some might say he's petite, but he's definitely Drogo. From Razor Edge Gaming. The Red Protoss on the right side, earning himself a seat in the grand finale against a Terran that is an absolute monster. Now, my French is not amazing, but I do believe both of them were complaining about how late it is and how this is very likely going to be a quick series, but still finishing at 4:30 a.m. for them, I believe, is what they were.
There's been
Drogo's feeling confident here.
Well, Drogo's gone for no worker scout. So the thing is, he doesn't know that Clem's gone gas first and is going to have the fastest bunch of Hellions driving into his base to burn probes ever. And this is one of the builds that is kind of, something you do not very often. Because if there's a core first, if there's a probe harassing you, then there's an early adept. All you've got is this Reaper up to this point. No Marine. You can't afford a bunker with this build order. But if that Protoss just sits in their corner of the map, is trying to get ahead by being a bit greedy like Drogo is, suddenly early Hellions can be an absolute game changer. And they're already rallied straight across the map, going into Widow Mines behind it. So it's going to be a Widow Mine drop follow-up by the looks of it. Might even be Drilly Claws.
Yeah. Just going to be interesting if the Widow Mine change gets through with the armory thing. I feel like it's not going to affect the highest level play too much, but... Oh, okay. Drogo, I think, is going to be okay against the Hellions here, but
bouncy bounce. Bouncy bounce.
Oh, he's in.
Ooh, and the damage has been split. The Reaper and the Hellions both taking damage. Now, these Hellions want to get at least 6 probe kills, and already they find the mark. Looks like they're going to go up to 12. Oh, man.
Yeah, that line of probes up there on the gas geyser, they go down, and 9 probes die for 2 Hellions and a Reaper, and that's absolutely worth it for Clem.
Yeah.
Prism for Drogo going across the map with 4 Stalkers. This is an opportunity for Drogo to do some counter damage.
If he catches that drop, that would be the dream for Drogo to really get him back in the driver's seat in this game. Quick unload, Drogo. Nicely done. He's going to get a lot of damage. He won't kill it, but he will actually... Oh, yes, he can get rid of the Widow Mines.
Oh,
does lose the Stalker.
Loses one of his Stalkers. But yeah, stopping the Widow Mines is really fantastic for Drogo. There's still one in the medevac.
And his doesn't actually have anything at home right now. He's committing to the attack.
There's nothing in here.
Oh, the Prism goes down, Maynard! Oh, no!
No, what?
It ran into a Widow Mine. Oh, no. And he was about to warp in on the front. He was specifically saying, I don't want to warp in defensively. So now he loses mining time. I mean, the force field on the ramp is Chad as all hell. That's sick. But is it enough? Like, yeah, he's going to kill a few SCVs. The Landed Viking can actually beat that Stalker.
It certainly can. The Sentry going to go down as well, and Drogo's just going to tap out. GG. Well then.
I'm just like looking at my webcam with a horrified look on my face. He even had the Waldorf up. Needed
That's not meant
to
happen.
put a pylon down behind would have actually been the way to do that. You want a full wall there because single unit in a narrow choke like that, and the Reaper can grenade it out. That's why like the super Hellion proof choke is like a real deep thick choke point. Jejuin, Letien. My French is amazing, so gonna have fun reading out their French comments to each other very accurately.
Yeah, your French accent is impeccable.
Uh-huh.
The best thing is like the Frenchman that we spent the most time with is obviously Todd. Not obviously, for me it's Todd definitely by a mile.
Yeah.
So we used to room together at the old IMs. But I pretty much just when I impersonate a French person, I just do a Todd impersonation.
What the fuck? How much money have you earned on esports earnings?
Personally, I think you're being a little bit unreasonable. Maybe calm down and think about the situation for a minute, sir.
I'm just having the flashback to the time we were playing PUBG, and he was shouting at this kid who was on our squad, and
was that
yeah.
Shopping or
was that BlizzCon? I remember because I called you on WhatsApp so you could listen to it. I was like, Maynard, you have to listen to this. Todd's yelling at this kid in our PUBG squad. It's so funny. And I was on the ground of my hotel room and just holding the phone up to my laptop speakers so you could hear him yelling at this kid that he was irrelevant and should do what Todd wanted to do. It was the funniest. And this 12-year-old was like, fuck you, I'm a pro gamer at this game. You should do what I want you to do. And this like little kid was just like trying to tell Todd how to play, and it was the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. This little troll just getting shouted at by Todd. I was dying.
Absolutely legendary esports moment. one of literally hundreds of legendary esports moments at these events. Oh, that's amazing. I forgot all about that.
It was so good. The good old PUBG days where my laptop would get hot playing and my fingers would start sweating, and I'd accidentally like slip and press a key on my shitty laptop keyboard, and I'd like jump out of like the car when we're driving around.
Didn't you and Todd get a chicken dinner the first like game of PUBG that you ever played?
Oh yeah, we got a lot of chicken dinners. Todd would always have these like French semi-pro PUBG players he'd like get to carry us with, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And I'd be the guy accidentally hopping out of the car while we're driving and like downing myself, and he'd be like, what the fuck you jumping out of the car for when we're driving? Good times. I haven't played PUBG in a while, but had a lot of fun with that when it came out. Are you seeing some spikes right now? It looks like
No.
For me, I got 1 or 2 there. That was a bit weird. So I don't know. Ooh, yeah, I got really bad ping. So I'm going to hop out of the game if that's affecting anyone else. But if it's not and it's just affecting me.
I'm not feeling any jitters at all. My ping is stable. It's a warm, buttery smooth 350 ms.
Okay, yeah. Mine's like 620. Mine's stable 600 right now, which is not what it should be.
No,
so that's a sign of something going on somewhere along the pipes.
I think if you're like 400-ish, that's too high for East Coast Australia.
It should be 315, something like that. Normally it's about 280 to 315, so it's going down now. I think it's stabilized, but if you're not feeling the spikes, the players wouldn't have either, because it was like the game was just like for a second.
Yeah,
so you let me know if you feel anything, and if I see that ping jump up again, and you guys are feeling stuff, I will leave and,
no worries.
and cast off
Worst
Discord.
comes to worst, we can do the
post
Discord hack again. Worst comes to worst.
Does that hurt your production at all? Do you have to turn your sound off or anything?
I just have to mute on Discord, man. And honestly, my upload is good enough to apparently be okay with the Discord. So
if it makes you drop frames or anything, then we won't do it. But I mean, if it's okay, then we'll do it. But only if we need to.
According to OBS, I've dropped 0 frames, so that's good. But I did have some jitters in game. So if you like jitters in game when we Discord share.
Right. All right, the Adept now coming over. 3 Marines, of course, 4th and 5th Marine join up as well. Very traditional opening here for young Clement. Does have the Widowmine on the way. Starport coming up quick. Drogo a little slow to react there.
The Adept will survive, but takes quite a bit of pepper from those Marines pepper shakers.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
What Clem can do here is now this pushes the Adept back. He can get the Widowmine far forward. He also can potentially do a distracting attack with the Marines. So he can actually gather the Marines, push across the front, and just rock up at the 3rd base or the front of the natural, and then drop mines at the same time. It's just, harder for Drogo to get his finger on the pulse of, hey, what's coming out now? You know, he doesn't have that info. You can see his stalks and Adepts are kind of roaming, going, what's happening?
Yeah. Is this roundabout when you want to get towards taking a third as a Protoss, but obviously have a presence of Stalkers on the map? See, the Stalkers are moving out now. Blink very
Yeah.
close to done.
He's trying to go third Nexus before Robo, which is nice, sick economic opening. No detection or anything like that. He's got a pylon behind the third. Okay, good. That's the path. I think the drop is queued on. Yeah, as long as his probe hangs out there, he should see it. Oh my god, Drogo doesn't see this because the pylon's not done. No.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Yes,
he sees
does.
it now. Does he react? Yes, he does. He sees it. Blink's not done. It's still 25 seconds away. But the Stalkers are in position. He wants that medevac to come deep. But quick react from Clement. Clem pulls back.
Clement. No,
Clement.
no overextension there.
Liberator on the way behind this. Marines, tanks. You know what this
Looks
push
like
is,
a little push
Maynard.
from Clem. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
the push, man. This is the noob slayer in TVP.
Didn't Cure or TY just destroyed stats with this on the weekend?
Yes. Yeah.
Like
it was
absolute
like a super,
destroyer.
It was like one of those games where, like, sometimes you're like, oh my god, that was one-sided, and sometimes you've got like a fop sweat and you're grabbing your forehead and burying your face in your hands.
Yeah.
And that was that kind of game. You're like, just like, oh my god, it's like you feel bad for the player that loses.
Yeah, so the whole thing here is the unupgraded Marines and tanks are kind of shit versus Stalkers, but you're also dealing with a Widow Mine drop and a few other things at the same time. SCV's going to block. Oh, the
Yeah, getting
YOLO
the tanks.
blink. It's worth it. It's worth it. Yeah, trade a few Stalkers, but gets both tanks. That takes out the bunker power. The SCVs have to go back. He's like, shit. Liberator goes in the
Live
main.
in the
There's already
main.
a Stalker on it.
There is a stalker on it. No probe pull from Drogo though, and he's going to one-shot some probes.
A few. It won't get out of control though. I think he's
Yeah, that is
okay.
true.
5 kills.
Probes.
He's got a third Nexus up though. He's probing.
That's
He's
true.
chrono boosting Nexi, and the problem is the Marines aren't threatening, so the Widowmine drop has no opportunity. Charge and +1 are almost done as well. Oh man, this is looking great for Drogo so far.
Yeah, it's been a very, very clean game too here. And he's really got tabs on that medevac with the Widow Mines in it as well. It's stuck between the natural and the third, and it's not going anywhere. Clem grabs one more Stalker on the retreat. Obviously, without Stim, he can't chase down Stalkers. They're going to always, with good control, outrange the Marines. Kite them for days.
It was like a funny interaction. He just sent one Marine forward to click the red hit point Stalker, and Drogo wasn't watching, so it got it. I was like, oh, you don't see that every day. They're like, all right, just run up and stick this rifle on that Stalker. Take it down. These Stalkers still looking for the info right now, and he does see, okay, going to be a bio push soon, but shield battery, tons of Stalkers out right now. What is that, 12 Stalkers? Yeah, 4 of them are on defense duty, but that gives him 8 to pressure the front, which is a good count.
Certainly does. These Stalkers are still very, very important for Drogo. He's got a lovely gateway explosion about to finish. Le gateway d'explosion coming down for Drogo. +1. Charge is done as well. Oh, medevac's exposed.
Yeah.
Pull up
Oh,
high ground
that
save as well.
bait!
Good move from Clem.
That
Good move
bait!
from Clem.
Oh my god, he hid them on that pillar high ground.
Yeah,
Drogo hung
so
around because he
sick.
wanted to get them, but he couldn't see it. Oh, Clem with such sexy moves, man.
Stalkers in the bushes though. Hiding
Yeah.
with their trench coats, but they open them up for the Marines.
Yeah. Whether or not they wanted to see that, they do end up getting a taste. The Widow Mine is going to get a shot on these Stalkers. Takes out 2.
That was like 3 Stalkers.
Oh my
it's
god,
2,
that's
okay.
huge. I think it was 3 actually. You're right. Yeah. Holy shit, dude. Big Widow Mine on the Zealots gets 3 of them splashed, and oh man, I mean +1 attacks
Widow
here.
Mines
The medevacs are gone. That's costly for Clem, but he's taking great trades. I mean, this could have spiraled so hard with charge being already ready. The Widow Mine drop does not find a big probe count. How has Clem got equal workers after all this? What is he? Like how?
Yeah, I mean, he's still sub like 100 minerals and not queuing up anything, so...
But
just
Drogo's
macro.
got to kill him with this attack now, because otherwise things are
Yeah.
going to get out of control. There's a Ghost Academy on the way. I mean, there's no medevac healing, and I think it's
Widow
enough.
Mine's off cooldown for Clem. He's coming in with the Zealots, some reinforcements from the natural, and in comes the medevac as well. Oh, a misclick on that load up for Clem. That's going to hurt him a little bit, but the Widow Mine's on the north side. Connecting with the Stalkers. 11
Big.
SCVs go down.
There was a huge splash of the Widow Mine on the Zealots on the right, though. Good lift on the CC, and a good defense by Clem. That could have been game ending. As it is, he scans the third and is like, you're still missing a gas there. Clem's wondering what his economic situation, picks up and just goes. Oh my god. This is so sick. Clem is just going to drop the main. He knows that his economy just took a big hit, but he's going to rebuild that economy, harass the shit out of Drogo, and he's going to look to just get bigger than Drogo over the next minute or two. If he can do damage and not take any more damage at home, Drogo is going to get pinned back on 3 bases.
Widowmine's actually going past the third. They're going for the natural here where there's a lot of probes and no cannons. Drogo warping in defensively.
Man. He didn't see the drop in the main. Yeah, the Forge goes down. One Widowmine. No Widowmines burrowed on the natural. They do get sniped, but goodbye Artosis. And no more production left for Drogo. His gateways are depowered. The other army reinforces on the third. He's going to recall to try to deal with that. At the same time, the drop is going to hot pick up in the main and get out. No, it's stimming back and fighting. Clem standing his ground.
Stopping him. The recall is not stopping him. The third base is still in trouble. One Archon dies. The second Archon dies. And that third Nexus is still in trouble. Clem snatching a victory from the jaws of defeat. How did he do it?
Oh my god. Yeah, that's a 2-0 advantage. Sorry, I didn't have the scoreboard on, guys. I forgot to put that up there. Wow. I really thought Drogo was going to be better prepared, but despite a bit of a good ambush, getting the medevac down, ambush in the grass, and then that Widowmine got 3 Stalkers, and the Widowmine hits were so good. Like, Clem Widowmines are a lot better than my Widowmines. I think he's hacking. It's the only explanation I can come up with.
Hacker, yeah. I think he's got a production bot, a map hack, and I think a Burrow microbot.
Almost certainly. Someone in chat says, no, he's just manually microing the Widowmines and setting up and stutter stepping perfectly.
No.
Shut up, chat. You guys are wrong.
No, it's a hack. It's hacks.
It's definitely cheating.
Yep. It's probably keyboard macros or something. Something that wouldn't work at LAN, only works online.
Yeah. It's the only explanation here, as the young Frenchman looks like he may be heading towards a 3-0 victory here against Drogo. I mean, that game was obviously a bit closer than map 1. We'll see what happens.
Really good for Drogo. Like we mentioned it at the beginning of the game. Like, it actually literally and objectively looks great for Drogo at the start.
Yeah, 5 probes is not too bad. I mean, it does get weird because you're trading Stalkers to kill siege tanks, and then you're still going up to 12 Stalkers. 1 in the main, 2 in the natural, 2 at the third. If you've built 15 Stalkers in the early game, you actually kind of have a lot of pressure on you to do big damage. And I guess the Stalkers just didn't trade quite as well as they needed to. You know, Clem kept pressuring his multitasking. Drogo wasn't quite able to get the Blinkstalk attacks going. Let's see if he can get it going here. Map number 3. And he's got to win to keep his chances alive in this grand finals. In the bottom left, representing Raise Your Edge Gaming, it is Petite Drogo.
And in the top right, the smaller Frenchman, but too large in game, large and in charge. It is Liquid's Clement.
Yeah, he actually studied TVP under the tutelage of the great and wise Sun Drill, the SCV, who is a famous Terran military commander. And remember, if you look at page 36 of his The Art of Terran, it does say, always in the rear with the gear. And that is why Clem always...
over time as well, yeah.
Woo over time. That's rule number 6, yeah. Clem also does like that one. But, I mean, it's the way he does it. The Widowmine drop in the back, the Lib in the back while trying to push the front. He's always in the rear with the gear at the same time as going in the front. Never from one direction. Always stressing his opponent out. It's textbook TVP.
Certainly is. Yeah, Clem just continues to really just play Terran the way that Blizzard intended. and if you have the ability to multitask like a god and micro like a god and never miss a beat with your macro, then yes, the race has a lot of very strong tools.
Yep.
Clem showing the world that time and time again with all these online tournaments.
If you're fast enough, people argue Terran is the best race. A lot of very smart people have argued, and they're like, yeah. You know,
I see that, honestly.
Like, even when I'll complain about, say, something like Creep being too powerful versus Bio, there's something which we've always kind of understood about the design of StarCraft 2 is you can do more with Bio than the other races can do with their units. And there are certain situations where it doesn't matter how good the Zerg or the Protoss' micro is. If the Terran's microing perfectly, you feel almost helpless as the Protoss or the Zerg, right? Because you don't have units that can be quite as finessed. It's more about the setup with those other two races. It's more about getting in position to make sure the Terran doesn't have that opportunity to just stutter step to death, to focus fire. But Maynard, we are seeing an interesting build from Clem.
Yeah.
It's very old school.
It is the 2-1-1.
That's a blast from the past. Now, it's a quick robo, so with an early observer, he should be able to scout that. And a quick Colossus, I would say, is one of the best things against this opening. I think you go a fast Colossus. The 2-on-1 can't do that much. Now, there are variations where people actually build Marauders out of the Tech Lab early, and that's
Yeah,
much
also
better versus the Colossus.
Sometimes a Widowmine as well, which I've seen as well with the 2-on-1. But yeah, obviously against Colossus, the Marauders are what you want, that sort of thing. But is Drogo going down that path straight into the Observer here? It's a little bit of time before you get the Robotics Bay, if that is indeed what he's going for.
Reaper just looking around, trying to dig for information. Sees the Stalkers are at home, sees a very defensive layout. Drogo once again walling off at the front for those Hellions. And, I mean, Drogo's quite blind. You know, he doesn't really know what's happening. It's that Observer now leaving the base that is going to give him the opportunity to start finding out. Third and fourth gas, but no Robo Bay just yet. I think we're going to see it start in just a moment.
Yeah, definitely looks like it for Drogo, right?
Lots of Observers, I guess. So he just wants to play map hacks.
Well, that makes sense because Clem is obviously hacking still.
Counter their hacks.
Yes, chat. Someone in chat was like, sarcasm, question mark? Yeah, it's...
No, we think he's actually cheating.
No, he's actually cheating, that's right. Oh my god. Yeah, see? Hacks.
Oh my god.
See? No one does that.
Yeah. And you gotta go, wait, why were you doing that? You're not thinking about 2-on-1 necessarily. Your brain's whirring, but nothing about 4 Marines catching your Observer before it sees anything tells you 2-on-1. Now, there's still no Robo Bay Maynard. Where are we going from here?
I think we're going to be seeing a big stim drumming that may actually kill a third Nexus and potentially win the game.
So late to go Twilight and Forge.
Yeah. I'm a little bit worried for Drogo here. Just on paper, the reason why we're worried is just explain a little bit more. On paper, it just doesn't seem like Drogo has the production. He's teching up a lot. He's just looking for, you know, the strong mid game. But Clem's going to have this stim timing, which is going to be absolutely deadly. And normally, you at least as a Protoss are like, oh, I see a lot of Marines, so I'm going to have shield batteries. I'm going to have an extra gateway or two. I'm going to start Blink.
I think he can hold though, right? Like with the gateway count, he's got enough Stalkers, but it's just kind of odd because he doesn't have mobility. So I kind of almost worry about the second wave. Like one more warp in, I think he should be fine against this. One more warp in right now. The warp gates are off cooldown. You got to be warping in, Drogo.
Well, here comes that warp in and the Stim Marines. Oh, God.
Where's the extra warp-ins? He has 3 gateways.
I think this might be it.
There's a Stalker up on the...
left. I mean, he might clean it up, but he's just trading so well.
No, that's insane. You can't lose Stalkers and Sentries like that. So this was a 3-gate opening where he was going to defend through just constantly building off those 3 gates and having plenty of units. And against any opening but this, that is an insane unit count. Like the gateway count he had at that time was awesome. Really safe. Against the 2-on-1? Nah. He really needed to pull back and buy just a couple more warp-ins.
Get the fuck out of here, Clem. Get the fuck out of here. He's dropping around the probes around to pick off the Stalkers so they can keep Medivacs alive.
Dropping on the low ground, dropping on the high ground.
7 kills. Fuck off, man.
Which ground will I pick? 8 kills. Oh, he didn't hot pick it up. Okay.
All right. 7-kill Marauder. All of them are probably Stalkers.
I am pretty good at StarCraft. My name is Clem. This is Billy the Marine. And he has a giant middle finger painted on his combat shield.
4 kills on Billy, by the way.
Yeah. And he goes for the main.
Get out of here, man. No, stop.
Please, for Drogo's keyboard's sake. Yeah, this is one of those things where it's like, you know, there's certain guys like, you're like, no, don't bully that guy because he'll go home and take it out on his kids or some shit, you know? It's like, this is like Drogo and his keyboard right now. Like, we need Clem to like be kind, give him a few minutes, let him back into the macro game, let him make 2 Forges and some Colossus because otherwise his keyboard's ruined, man. Like, Drogo's losing to that Marine and Marauder. You're like, no! Uh-oh.
Yeah, and this attack is just going to end the game, and that was a pretty one-sided grand final with Clem getting the W, farming a few more experience points of a Drogo before hitting the F10 end there. Oh my god. Clem with the 3-0 finale gets himself, I think, his 4th, if not 5th NA championship for the EPT weeklies. I think 4th.
Yeah, he's won a lot. He becomes the champion, and just, you know, he's really good. On the EU Cups, he's great. Late at night in the NA Cups, he's great as well. Now, one of the big things which was missing here is that Sentry was warped in very late for Drogo. It gave him a hallucination. He did not have Guardian Shield. Guardian Shield changes the maths so much on that engagement, as well as having just a few more warp-ins. Now, I don't think he was supply blocked. I do think he could have warped in units. I think he just kind of felt a little bit safer than he actually was. If we look at the warp-ins, we can see one warp gate was ready before that came in, and then another one was finished. He was supply blocked on 70 until the Nexus actually finished. Oh. Yeah, a slight supply block meant the stim was already in there, and then he can only warp in as the fight starts, whereas he should have been able to warp in 3 more units. That would have made a big difference if he had a sentry or a few zealots in front to tank. That would have been huge, but
Hey,
Clem played smart.
Guess
What up?
Citizen
What?
Story just confirmed. Clem did not drop a map this whole tournament.
The perfect tournament run.
The flawless victory.
Flawless victory.
It's insane.
Dude, I can't
Flexing
believe
all
it.
the way to that. He's flexing all the way to that EPT bank, that point bank.
Such a sick player.
Well, I guess that's it for the show, man. We're out of video games to cast.
We are. So we had Clem beat some great players as well. Damn, that's insane. But yeah, Drogo Clem finals.
Not a terrible run.
That was dominating TVP is what I'm going to call that game on the tubes. Just it's one of those ones. It's not so much for entertainment value as it is to show how good Clem is. It's the finals. I always like to put the finals up on YouTube later. But thank you everybody for hanging out with us. We've had so many 5-game reversals and shit like that in the last few weeks. I think it was about time we got a one-sided grand finals. We've been blessed with so many good games, and I think we needed this as a little bit of a reset, a bit of a one-sided grand finals. Clem just smashing through so that we can get back to the very close series next week. Of course, me and Maynard love doing this each week. I really want to appreciate everybody who's kind of come by the channel